All right, everybody, welcome back. Oh, I just tried to do a Christian. To Talkin Wellness. I'm your girl Kayla, introducing everybody. So right here.
Hello, it's Michael. How you doing?
It's Christian right here, guys. What's up?
Yes.
Yo, it's Kooper.
Yeah, well,
Whoa, there you go.
That was the exciting news. So today we have another guest in our series, Mental Health Matters,
Yes.
where we are actually bringing awareness to the community about mental health. We do this all year round, but in the month of May, it is Youth Mental Health Awareness. And what better than to have a young person, truly a young person, with us to really shed light on this conversation and kind of talk about your perspective. You are young. So Kooper is pretty awesome. He's actually my son.
Yeah.
What?
And I just want to pause real quick because this is a really epic moment. So back in the very first My Story Matters, we heard Kayla's story talk about, it's titled The Promise of a Deer, if you want to look back to it. And we hear about Kooper and her life story. And I just want to pause for 2 seconds to say how awesome this moment is that we're able to have you, Kooper, because it's like full circle moment, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about Kooper for the Mother's episode as well. So it's like a lot of the people who listen to the podcast regularly know who you are.
Yeah.
So now they can put your face and the name together.
Because I love you.
So just a couple things to just because I want to highlight because I think is cool. As you can see, we're getting a little more high tech. We have multiple cameras now. Go ahead and hit some of those camera angles. What's up? What's up? Camera 1, we got camera 2, and we got camera 3. Yes, we are getting better and better as the weeks go by, as we promised last week. And but yeah, let's get back into it. Mental Health Matters, the youth perspective.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So a lot of routes we can go with this one, right? I feel that we've had a great opportunity to talk with different amounts of people about different walks of life. Last week we had Sandra. She spoke, which actually we're recording this on a Friday. It came out today. Sandra's episode came out today.
Yes,
So
amazing. Check
if you
that
haven't had
out.
a chance to watch it, which for you guys it'll be last week.
I was watching earlier, actually. Yeah, it's good.
It came out great.
Yeah,
See, I loved hearing her story. Definitely that second time around, I got a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
I feel that every time we record an episode, I have to look back to it to really receive what we talk about.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah. But we talked about the adult perspective, we talked about young adults, and we talked about the family perspective. So now we're going to talk about youth perspective. And I think it'd be a clever way to start by asking this question. What does mental health mean to you?
Like how you treat your body and how you take care of it.
Okay. It's pretty decent answer, right? I love that. What do you guys think about it?
I think that's a huge component of it. Would you say that it's your full body, including your mind? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny how he says that. I think that's I think that's exactly what kids think when they're young, is more of the physical. You think that first. So it has a name in it, mental health, but you even think more body. I think kids in general, I think myself, I thought more of my body as well. Like how you look, how you dress, how you cut your hair, all that stuff plays into it and ultimately affects your mental health. I think that's what where kids are
But
more
if you have
focused
a positive mental health, it's a lot of the times it's going to show.
Oh, for sure.
Like the way you care for yourself, you're exercising,
it's going to show outwardly.
it's
exactly.
I believe that. That's why I like that answer, because I do think mental health has a lot to do with physical health as well.
No,
So,
of course.
Yeah. So Kooper, what would you say? You have a lot of friends at school. You have a lot of friends who are similar to your age. A question that we've been asking in every single episode is, what do you think are some of the challenges that people around your age face when it comes to mental health?
They smoke.
Substance use?
Yeah. School, they drink alcohol.
Stuff like that?
Yeah.
You feel like those are some of the behaviors that are seen, but there's other stuff going on with those kids?
Yeah.
Do you think that deeply into it, or do you are you at that age where you don't, maybe not don't care, that's not the right word, but you're just kind of doing your own thing?
Yeah.
I know your mom is very into mental health, and you've been around this your whole life.
Yeah.
Very similar to me, your upbringing. So you have it there. It's always been there. But do you really I'm asking you, do you think too much into it?
No.
Okay. I'm asking that just because I see similarities in Coop and in my nephew AJ. You know,
Yeah.
the game. They're very like they're getting into that like that boy generation, that like the age where you're like starting to talk to girls,
Yeah.
starting to do all that stuff. You know, move your hair, do your hair a certain way. So they're at that age. So it's just definitely interesting to see how they move. And I just want to hear a little bit more of his perspective. It's funny to see Coop grow. I mean, I've seen Coop for like 10 years of my life. So it's funny to see him get older and experience some of the things I was dealing with like 10 years ago myself. And I'm sure Chris was too.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you would say that you kind of deal with like as a 13-year-old? Like, what are some of the, I guess, struggles that you may go through, whether it be like school or even at home or pressure or just like growing into yourself? Like, what is some of the stuff that you deal with or people deal with at 13? You don't know?
I just do my own thing.
Yeah, but what does that look like? So when you think about the stuff going on in your school, like are there difficult things that go on in your school that you have to like deal with on a daily basis, or no?
So you mentioned that like there's smoking and drinking and stuff like that like in your school, and you know kids that are actively doing it.
Yeah.
Not to like out them, obviously. And are they in your grade as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or below or
Or so you're a sophomore,
no.
junior?
He's in 7th grade.
Oh, so you're not even high school yet.
No
Oh my
way.
god. Oh, so this is
Which is wild.
So you're in middle school where this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's definitely gone down an age bracket or so from my generation. I think like drugs and alcohol, I don't think was tested around that age. There was definitely like the cooties, boys and girls like hooking up and trying to kiss and do that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a different thing I haven't heard about. So
And vaping, right? Like vaping.
How is that? Like you say, I don't know how it is, but how is it to know people like your friends or someone, like if they smoke, if they drink, does it affect you in any way, or do?
No, I just walk away.
Huh.
Yeah.
And let's say if it's a friend that you know, do you know any friends currently that are maybe like struggling with something, or it's like getting bad too? Because I'm older, I'm 29, and I know friends that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Well, I know some people that shouldn't be doing it, but they don't like do it.
Yeah, and how does that make you feel? Do you feel like in a place where you feel uncomfortable to say anything about it, or do you feel like you don't care?
Sometimes I say
Or
you shouldn't do it, but I usually just walk away.
And I'm trying to get to the root of this. Why do you do that? Do you feel, not to say it's your responsibility or anything, I'm saying that because there's a lot of kids that see their friends smoking or drinking.
Twice. So once last year and this year, I got caught up in people smoking, and I was sent to the office and almost suspended. And so I just walk away so that doesn't happen.
You just want to stay out of the trouble of it.
And usually I just hang out with the kids that don't do it.
Gotcha. So just to avoid the whole issue of it in general. Okay.
How do you feel about that? Like, what do you feel about like even like vaping and smoking and all of those things when you're seeing that? No interest.
So you're indifferent to it. You just don't care at all.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You could not have a care at all. But so let's say I was like that when I was your age. But when there's no care somewhere, there's a care somewhere else.
Yeah.
So where would you say like most of you, where do you say most of your mind is spent? Like, you know, what do you do on a day-to-day like that keeps you mentally away from that stuff without thinking about it?
I listen to music, I bike, play basketball.
Okay, so you try to stay
game.
active in other ways that are more healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What would you say is the number one thing you like to do?
When I'm not doing basketball, biking, and also listening to music.
What position do you play?
Point guard. And then on
Cool.
AAU, I
Move
play.
the mic a little closer to your mouth. Just so you.
On AAU, I play small forward or power forward.
Okay. Are you a good passer?
Yeah.
You said, yeah. I don't know about that grid.
Just kidding.
Might have to see that.
Okay. So I know that you stay away from, people that smoke or vape in school and things like that. And, you know, as his mom, I remember when there was an experience where the teacher thought that you were vaping, right? Because you were like in the back, caught in the bathroom and stuff. And they ended up having to play back cameras, right? In order to find out that
No,
it wasn't
in the bathroom. It was like upstairs.
in the school. Yeah. And so what do you do though when you are like having stress, like when something's like really hard and like, or you're feeling like mentally down, like what are some of the things that you do to help yourself like stay stronger, you know? Or
I either pray or I try to drift my mind onto something else that won't make me get very upset or like
yeah. Do you feel like sometimes like talking to somebody, do you feel like you have like safe people?
I try to talk to them and tell them, oh, I this and that.
Who is that?
Who are your safe people to talk to?
I mean, you don't have to name them, but
No. I mean, in general, like, because we're talking about mental health, right? So, which is like, you know, taking care of, like we said, like your body, but it's also your mind. You know, when you think about like when we're going through hard times, and it can be something that brings our mind down, where we start to have those like negative thoughts. So when you're going through like difficult things, I know that you have a lot of wellness tools, because basketball, biking, music, are praying, all of those things are wellness tools. But would you say, because you might have another young person that listens to this, you know, like, so when you think about like telling somebody like, you know, if you're going through it, this is something that maybe you can try to do, you know, and having support, would you say that that's helpful too, to be able to like talk about it rather than like holding it all in?
Can you say that again?
So if you have somebody to talk to about like what you're going through, right? Does it feel better than holding it in and not talking at all? Yeah. So would you say it's good to have like people in your life to talk to, whether it be your friends or even like an adult to help you, that helps you? Like I'm thinking about like who is a person that you feel like you can tell anything to?
You?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I know somebody even more than that.
Oh, my friend.
No, grandma.
Oh.
You tell grandma everything.
Oh, yeah.
He tells grandma everything before he tells me. But you know, like, so when you think about like what are the reasons that your mental health is good, or how you keep it well when you go through hard things, because sometimes you've gone through difficult things, you know, when you think about it. And you may not want to share here some of those difficult things that you've gone through, but thinking about what are the things that as a 13-year-old you can tap into to help yourself, you know, so finding out the things that you like, right? And doing more of that. Yeah.
We want to hear from you.
I'm not your mom, so I'm gonna get it out of you.
Yeah, you
so,
go ahead.
I don't know about that one.
Well, I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
You know, I saw earlier this week there was a kid. He was like 10 years old. I feel bad for not knowing the name, and he had passed away from a bullying incident. And the whole premise of that was his parents sent him to school. He was getting bullied. They told him, hey, like this is a situation that's happening. We need you to help. The help wasn't coming. He kept getting bullied. Came home one day, killed himself, or unalived himself. And that's just the situation that is now. And that was this week, and he's a 10-year-old kid. So like the reason why we kind of like do these podcasts and like especially the My Stories is like to get the personal perspective of that person, like you. So you're that 13-year-old person, and we know that like there's drugs, there's a bunch of stuff that happens. And I know you're probably like super indifferent, and like you're at that age where you're like, it's kind of just happening around you, and it's just happening, and you don't, maybe in 10 years you'll think about it and be like, oh, that happened. And then you'll process it. But my question is to you, if you could give like a piece of advice, because you do have, you know, your mom is in your life that does help you give those wellness tools. What would you say to like kids like your age or something that could be struggling, or maybe has had certain things like that have happened to you happen to them?
Talk to somebody about it, because it just helps you like relieve it, and like it's not like as like heavy.
And what
like
was the specific situation that happened with you? Like maybe if you don't want to get into it, that's too personal for you. But like what's something that happened to you that like you talked to a friend or like really close friend or your grandma or your mom that like helped you get past it? Like actually get past it, because you're getting to that age where I know you get invalidated a lot of the time because you're young, and like people don't really respect the problems and the traumas and the obstacles that you deal with. But you do deal with a lot of stuff. There's social media. There's a lot. ADHD is very prevalent nowadays in kids. And like, I really want to make it known that you have struggles and you have to, I want you to be able to know that you have a voice to be able to talk about that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So what would you give as like a big like stamp on advice, like to like one of your close friends or something like that?
Wait, say it again.
Just some advice. So let's
Sorry,
say
I'm going around. It's a podcast. That's,
no,
that's
but wait. Let's dive into it
Mm-hmm.
because, and I think I agree with my Kayla is saying. You have a very interesting perspective, where you have a lot of people in your life who make mental health a priority, right? Like work with you on it. I know your mom has talked to me about how much basketball has helped you get through a lot of your struggles and stuff like that, right? So, but there's a lot of people your age out there that don't necessarily have those
well, what
things.
have been some of your struggles? Like, why don't you talk like stuff that you're comfortable sharing? Like, what have been some of the things that you've overcome?
When I was younger, there was a point where I didn't have you in my life or dad.
Mm-hmm.
I've been expelled, suspended. That's it.
Yeah. So, okay. So what were those key things? Like, what advice do you have for somebody who is going through that process?
when you got when did you get expelled or suspended, if you don't mind me asking?
I got suspended like 3 times this year.
Okay.
And then I got expelled midway through 6th grade.
Gotcha. And do you mind me asking why those things happened? Because I did those. I did things too. I
got expelled because there was this girl. She sat down in her chair, and she fell out the chair. And the teacher said I kicked her out the chair.
Okay.
And so they said that I did that, and so they expelled me.
Gotcha. So just like little pranks and stuff. But that might not have been you, but like just pranks in general, like stuff like that. Okay. I mean, that's what kids do. I mean, that happens all the time. Kids do that. Do you feel like you were doing those pranks, or do you feel like there was any reason that was happening, or why you didn't feel as if that was as big of a deal at the time?
No, I didn't kick her out the chair.
Oh, no. Like, let's say other things, like other things.
Okay, what about, so for the suspensions is fighting, right? So what is it like in middle school that there's so much fighting on a daily basis?
People say stuff, and then people will be like, oh, he said that.
So let's get to the bottom of that. That's a perfect example. What happened to like make you start a fight?
So the time before spring break that I got suspended, a kid was talking about like stuff about my dad, and then threw milk at me. So like I had like pressed him through the door.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example right there, like of like kids going through stuff. Like you've gone through stuff with your father and your parents, and it's hurt you or maybe made you feel a certain way. And then there's kids that don't understand that level of empathy that you need to have with certain people, and they just pick at it. They go at it and they make you feel a certain way to make you have to kind of act back, fight. Yeah. So that's a perfect example of stuff that kids go through every day, and that's why we bring you on here, because we want to hear that. We want to know about that stuff, because like you're saying, happened to me back in the day. My sister, when we were going through school at the time, she was Pentecostal, and that's where girls only wear skirts. So I remember all the time she was always getting into stuff with girls, and guys were picking up. I was a senior when she was a freshman, so I was always, whoever was talking stuff about my sister, they were gonna hear it from me. So like that's stuff that I dealt with in high school, and like I had my own like journey stuff with my religion and stuff. So like, how about you? Like, I know Christ and Jesus is not a big thing in middle school or high school or in kids in general. Like, how is your relationship with God like towards other kids?
Close.
Yeah, but how does that help you? Like,
do kids pick on you for it? Do kids know about it?
No. Well, yeah, kids know about it. They don't pick on me for it.
Okay, so that's like one thing.
Cool.
It's like I feel like kids have always kind of had like certain respects for certain things. Sometimes, and that's like one of them. It's like religion.
Common sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because like I'm thinking about my middle school years and my high school years, and like religion was always one of those things where I would tell them all the time, like, yeah, I go to church, and they'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's the school that I went to. You know, that could be a big thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I just went to a school where they were okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I feel that some other places might not be. You know, But I guess that's where that not anecdotal, that's something that comes from you, right? Anecdotal evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it comes from perspective.
Do you feel like there's a lot of bullying in school that happens?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's like
Oh,
another
that brings
big
up a great
yeah.
question. Okay, so there's a lot of TV shows, Euphoria, all these different TV shows that dramatize and like make it seem like this is how school is. Do you think those are like true to how school is? Do you think school is not
depends.
that bad, or do you
It
think
just
it's
depends. Like,
it depends on where you are, obviously.
What is your school like?
Yeah, what would you say?
This is middle school again, by the way,
Yeah,
guys.
this is middle school.
Like, people, they like when they bully, they go to a certain point. Like, say like there's somebody autistic, they don't say anything about that.
Okay.
Like they don't like things that are messed up. People don't do. Or
Okay.
like if somebody does something,
Like the way you dress or something,
Yeah.
haircut.
sometimes they will do it for the haircut, but or how they look sometimes.
Do you feel like that puts a lot of pressure on kids? Like I know when somebody is bullied, like you've been bullied before.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good at all. So
No.
think about what that does to somebody's confidence and their mental health. Like what would you say it does? Like what did it do for you when you were bullied? Like
Drains it all.
yeah, it drains it.
And that's
yeah.
another question I have. I'm bringing all these questions
Yeah,
flowing in
no,
now.
it's good.
When it comes to bullying, what were you bullied about? Because, and this is a two-part question, and I asked that because you hear in like certain communities that bullying is a good thing sometimes, and I'm asking that because we've talked about it. We don't necessarily think that
I can't
bullying
remember
is a
'cause
good thing.
I don't usually get bullied. It was
Mhm.
probably like a while ago.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel as if, and I'm asking you, do you feel as if, I'm asking you why you got bullied, and because I wanted to ask, do you feel as if that bullying was good for you? Do you feel like it helped you grow in whatever they were bullying?
Like if I ever get bullied, it helps me. Like it helps me to do better.
Okay, and that's and that's why I wanted to ask, because we've talked about
Like
this.
instead of using it as something to drain all my confidence, I use it as something to boost my.
So it fuels you sometimes. So like they've said it, like haters are my
Yeah.
motivation sometimes. So you feel more of that more than the opposite of like, dang, this kid's picking on me. I'm like, you know, okay. And I asked that question because like back to what we were saying, we've talked about it.
We've talked about
the
before.
bullying stuff, and
Well, that was our second episode.
yeah,
We talked about
and I
bullying.
mentioned that like how I got bullied and through certain things that helped me, and then 10 years later, hindsight, yeah, it helped me, but at the same time, there could have been better approaches still to that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, yeah, they bullied you and it probably helped you, but there still could have been better ways of them helping you in another way.
Yeah.
Like that energy could have been used in other ways. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a fine line too, because when I think about like the difference with Coop probably and like somebody else getting bullied is like if you don't have supports that are also pouring into you and like speaking encouragement over you, and you are met with like the mean things that another kid says, like that can be internalized where you start to like think really bad about yourself, and then you feel like outcasted and you don't feel like you fit in anywhere, and that can really cause somebody's
Do you
mental
feel
health.
like, and like your mom says, that's the opposite side of what you felt. Do you feel like because of your mom and because of the recovery, you know, tools that you've been given and taught throughout your life that was able to help, like not hurt you as much or not
Yeah.
bother you as much?
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure, because I think like when Coop got bullied, what did I tell you about like bullies themselves?
They're probably hurt inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I make that point to say it shows how important it is for people like yourself,
Right.
in support.
Of their kids, for sure, because I think essentially what will happen is every young person, right? Like every kid goes through some form of like bullying at some points, like some to a degree that's like totally not cool. But at some point, kids, whether they're like horsing around, you know, what is it, like roasting?
Yeah.
But that can be taken very seriously and people can really be hurt by it.
Yeah.
You know, and those words, and I tell Kooper all the time, like our words can cut really deep. But on the other end, I teach him is that like when he's being bullied, you know, as cliche as it may sound, we pray for those people. Cause I'm like, 9 times out of 10, they're probably being bullied too.
Yeah.
And so hurt people. And I always tell Coop, like, you got to turn that around because you want to be a positive light. And it's hard to be a light in the schools because there's a lot of kids that don't have people like encouraging and doing that for them. And in his school, there's like fights on a daily basis, right? So it's like, I'm glad it's hard because like, I'm glad that he's there experiencing this, because I think it's like the real world stuff that he's getting exposed to, but it's also challenging his character and his faith to like say, hey, like every day I gotta like, you know, walk this line. Now he's fallen short, you know, in that. Obviously he's been suspended, but it's like recognizing where did you go wrong and how do you, you know, control your temper when you're feeling triggered, because for him it's family. That's like most of the time when he gets, and it was for you too, right? With your sister, where you're feeling like you want to fight somebody because they're talking about your family. Well, what are you going to do, you know, as you get older? I tell you all the time, like the older you get, it's not going to be suspension, it's going to be handcuffs, you know, and that's just a harsh reality. So it's like, how do we teach kids how to emotionally regulate, how to, you know, surround yourself by positive people, so that when you have negative experiences in life, because you will have those negative experiences, you will be able to like manage them better. You know,
bullies just grow up to be bullies. Like unless they change.
For example, my friend, we had gotten into something at the Y because my friend, he has a hint of autism, and these kids were calling him Tism and bullying him about it, and then my friend stepped up. And he has
the person with the or another person.
No, the one that was being made fun of.
Yeah, so they had gotten into like a press battle, and then another kid came. It was like a 2v1, and my friend had grabbed them both like that, and then they had all came in, and like they thought I was involved and all of that.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know, like the amount of things that.
No, I remember. I mean, there were fights at my school. I remember watching, you know, friends, hey, yo, Price Park, 3:00, we're gonna be there. Like, you know, like, but as soon as school ends, everybody's walking right over to the park across the street, and it's going down.
Yeah,
and
for us,
it's
it's
funny.
like the skate park in California.
And it's funny though, but like that usually was a good route. Sometimes, at least the ones that I'd seen, for compromise, because the guys that I'd seen, they'd fight, they'd be like, all right, we fought, and they'd be done. Does that work all the time? Absolutely not.
I'm gonna put on the screen. Michael condones fighting.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. I absolutely don't. I think there's better ways to do it. I just think everybody finds like a route of getting their frustrations out.
I'm gonna say
energy.
This. I love you, man, because I feel that every episode, or every other episode, there's like one moment where he says one comment, and I'm like. And I look at Giancarlo. Did he really just say that?
You got to.
Did he really just? Okay, I guess we're going there. No, I just think it's funny. Coop, I have a serious question to ask you, and you can answer this if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. What would you say is the toughest experience that you've had to face in school? You don't know. So more than just the academic, was there ever a time where you were like, man, I maybe you've asked yourself.
When they didn't let me play on the basketball team.
Oh.
It was tough for me.
So talk a little bit about that. How was that experience?
Because I got suspended, and basketball, I love to play basketball, and I was trying to go try out for the team, and the sports person at my school, she had said I cannot play because I got suspended. And even if I do try out, no matter what, I can't play a game or nothing. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that basketball has become a motivation for you?
Yeah.
To stay on that
100%.
path. Yeah. So that's interesting, because now we're getting into a topic that we've even talked about in the show, where we talk about wellness tools and like how our passions can sometimes help us kind of pull through. You know, we've talked here in the office, you know, when you come to work with Kayla, and we've talked about how you love streaming and like you love video games and stuff like that. Like, would you say those are also things that like help fuel your wellness?
Yeah.
Do you think that there can be like where you're doing it too much? Like, do you think that video games should be endless, or do you feel like there should be balance where you're not doing it like all the time? Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't really do it all the time.
No, I'm asking you though, like how you feel about it. Like when you think about.
Well, at certain points there should be like, unless like a kid wants to have that be his career, then yeah, there should be a balance to it. Like me, I really only play if like it's raining or it's like at nighttime.
Because do you think, like, why? Why do you think there should be a balance?
Because it's not good for you, and also if there's something else that you want to do, you should be trying to work towards getting that done.
See, and that right there is what's mind-blowing to me, because I've met, worked with, talked to a lot of people your age, Coop, that don't feel the way that you do about doing that, about getting work done. You know, like, I'm not gonna play video games right now because I want to work on my shot. You know, or I don't want to.
Well, I tell you what, it ain't about cleaning his room. So no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Mom.
Just kidding.
Kayla's gonna leave the room now
like that.
as we talk with Kooper
okay.
about cool stuff.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, but yeah, I think it's really impressive because I like I said, I've talked and I work with a lot of people your age, and they don't share that.
Yeah.
That's not a common thing to see. So and I personally appreciate that, because it's like, and I think I've said this, one of the biggest things that motivates me about working here is when I hear somebody tell me, like, yeah, I just went through some tough S word and I'm working towards getting through it.
Yeah.
That's my biggest inspiration. Like, watching people, even though they've been through tough times like suspensions,
Yeah.
coming back and working on it stronger.
I actually think you're like and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like when you got expelled, that was like a really hard time for you, like that you really had to bounce back, because this was like a school that he had gone to for like a while, you know?
Like since kindergarten.
Yeah. And it
6
was
years.
like kind of not cool the way it all like ended up happening because of the way that they like expelled him. And I feel like that was a big bounce back for you, because I remember like you were like really down and out about it. Like what was it for you that kind of switched your thought process in that? Or what was it at first that you felt like when that happened?
Whatever school I go to next is gonna be better than how my life was at that school.
That's how you. That's
It's gonna improve my life. It's gonna improve.
Recovery 101.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Right
man.
there. You know?
That's awesome. I think that's really good.
That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, in the mindset. But what
Look
about?
at him smiling. He knows it's cool.
But I will tell you, it did take you a minute to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like,
I was so down about it because
yeah,
all my friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you what was the spark that brought you back?
Probably just making new friends at the new school.
So that was the thing that was like, okay, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna come back stronger.
Yeah.
Just those friends. See, there you go. Support systems.
Yeah, connections. Do you think it's important to have like friends and like good friends?
Yeah.
Would you say right now, like, what would you say is more important, spending time with family or friends?
Ouch. Yo, Kayla has to drive back with him. Like, she's asking this question.
Be honest.
Kooper, don't be honest. Don't be honest, Kooper. Say family. Kooper, look at me. Look
For
at my
real,
eyes,
though.
Kooper. Say family. Say family, Kooper. Look at me. He's laughing, but he knows I'm right. Say family. Say mom.
Okay, in 2 senses.
Uh-oh.
Family, if you want there to be love and trust, but friends to be outgoing.
Okay, that's such a different perspective.
Outgoing. Can you explain that? What
Yeah.
do you mean by
Cause like friends, you could say something and they're probably not gonna tell anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
that? Oh. Yep.
This would be a
Yeah.
whole different
Yep.
podcast if it was just me and Coop, guys. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the
You
second
had to
half,
put
we're
that
going to
tough
ask Kayla to
question
step
there.
out.
I think
No, I'm
so
kidding.
too.
You
I'm
had to
kidding.
put me on the spot there.
No, that's okay.
I will tell you, Coop, bro, have fun, enjoy your life. Once you get to high school, bro, do not mess up your grades. You have 4 years and 4 years only. Literally, middle school does not. I'm being.
What?
Don't listen to this. Middle school
Yeah,
does not matter.
Don't listen to
Like,
this.
it's literally an avenue to like experience and get friends and
Noted.
play basketball and do stuff. Seriously, not saying you should get expelled and stuff. You shouldn't. You shouldn't do that because I've never done that. But in high school, for real, like focus up because you can't take it back.
The middle school part is noted, and so is the high school part.
For
Just-
real, because once you like, let's say you start getting good grades, as soon as you are on that GPA track, you're on the GPA track. That's where the colleges are gonna look at. That's where your
Seriously,
life
listen to him.
gets
I
easier. I'm telling you straight up because I did not do that. I was very good at test taking, and I had a decent GPA. But if I had done better in hindsight, it would have been a lot easier in college and stuff like that.
As much as I'm laughing, I don't disagree with you. I think you're 100% right. You know, I regret not working as harder in high school than I did.
Yeah.
I do.
Wait, so you're saying don't work as hard in middle school, but harder in high school?
I'm saying
You should do both.
You should do both.
You
should
use,
both it.
Use middle school as an avenue to get you to where you need to be in high school.
That's a good way to see it. Use middle school to practice for high school.
Because in high school,
Also, you're
I grew up with the whole, my mom was going through stuff, so I had a rough childhood as well. So in high school, I had no list of majors, or I didn't know if I wanted to do culinary and all that stuff. So before you go to high school, have all that stuff figured out. Know if you want to go into culinary or JRTC, or if you want to do sports, or if you want to do TV production or stuff like that. So by the time you're already there, you're building that avenue for yourself. I'm telling you, bro, your life will be.
You're kind of scaring me because she's side-eyeing me right now, and
Because
No.
She's just
honestly, Coop, it's like this is your journey of life, you
Yeah,
know, and you'll
it's your journey,
have to figure it out. I'm gonna be here to
I've told my
love
sister
you
the same stuff.
and support you through your whole process. For real, no. Oh wait, here. But the reality is there's wisdom here because they've already been through that experience, you know? And so it's like listening to other people to say, hey, you know what? Maybe they have my best interest in heart, and let me just hear what they have to say. My biggest thing to you would be like, think about right now what it is that is the struggle that you have with school, because what keeps you from staying on top? Like, what do you feel like is your biggest struggle with right now, like staying on top of things?
Distractions?
Yeah, it's distractions. Don't feel like doing the work.
Motivation.
What do you feel so distracted by? Just like friends and like doing stuff in general? Okay.
Cooper's like a social butterfly, believe it or not.
No, I can tell. I can
Have
tell
no
that.
social anxiety.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I
He
mean-
legitimately, like, you're super smart. It's just like focusing on it. And so
I just don't focus enough.
So how do you make it to where, how do you motivate yourself to do it? Like, how do you motivate yourself to focus on school, even though you're...
Sometimes I would put it this way. It's either do bad and get whooped and grounded,
So you
or do good and be chilling.
No, and that's honest. That's honest. Sometimes things are like...
In the lecture part, that's the scary part.
my lectures?
Kooper, what are you doing?
Cut the episode. Cut the episode. Well, guys, this has been a great episode. A little shorter one. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But wait,
Listen.
no, this is a good point, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a very interesting perspective here where we haven't had this happen in the podcast yet, where we're trying to ask you to be open and honest, and I get it. It's hard to do it when your mom's here.
I know.
Totally get
I
that.
should have never been on this podcast.
No, but that's not the thing either, right? So the thing that I wanted to bring up is that I had to learn in my life, and maybe this can serve as some like a lesson for you, hopefully, that in order for make sure that there's no like confusion between my mom's and mine's relationship, I needed to make sure that she knew how I was feeling, even if I knew she wasn't gonna like it.
Yeah.
You know, why? Because it's the only way she's gonna know that you don't like something or that you're not okay with something. Because that was my biggest problem, and I shared it with my story. Is that my entire life, my biggest problem is that I hide everything and I don't share with the people that I care about how I'm feeling. I just don't like doing that. But what I had to learn was if I don't, they have no idea. So I can't get mad at them when they get mad at me for doing something or saying something because they don't know that hurts me or that affects me. Right? So I had to literally like buck up and like learn how to be like, yo, mom, I don't like how you said that. Obviously, I'm respectful about it because I don't want to get a whooping. But I'm like, mom, I don't appreciate how you said that to me. Can you say that to me in a different way that's not disrespectful?
Yeah.
And you know what she did? It goes both ways, buddy. Because she told me right back, Christian, I don't like the way you said that. And I had to be like, you're right, my bad. It goes both ways, buddy.
I will tell you though, Coop, you are fortunate to have a mom that is like my mom. Like I say,
And like my mom.
not that she's like my mom. I mean, you kind of are like my mom, but she's very.
Kayla's not my mom.
Your mom is very tapped in with mental health. Your mom is very patient. Your mom is very understanding. Your mom has been through a lot of crap, So she knows, like, even when you're getting suspended or expelled, it could be a lot worse. So you're fortunate to have that for sure. So I will say, like, take advantage of that. Take advantage, like Chris said, that your mom is very much like that, and do be open with her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I'm sure you do that you don't tell your mom. If you're anything,
Don't we all?
I think you are, because you remind me of myself. Because I was a bit mischievous too.
Literally
But that's fine. You're a kid. Live your life.
And you know what? This is why I keep my Kel close.
You're a
learning.
kid.
He is on point right now.
You're a kid.
Whatever.
Live your life, and you gotta like enjoy things. But like I said, at high school point, that's when it's tap in.
That's game time.
I promise you, bro. Please.
That's game
You
time.
could be the most craziest, mischievous kid until you're 13. Once you hit high school, just be a proper lad and just get straight A's, and your life will be smooth.
He's so serious,
sailing,
he changed
bro.
accents.
I
He did.
promise
He
you.
legitimately.
Must be a proper
I was
lad.
about to say, are you British?
I promise you,
Must
bro.
be a proper lad.
Be out traveling the world.
A proper lad.
Proper lad. Anyways,
That was great. Okay,
All right, let's get out of here.
thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been really cool. Kooper, thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah.
You rock.
Oh my
I always,
gosh, you.
ever since I met you, like, I love being around Kooper. He's always a fun energy. Here at the office, like, we play basketball all the time whenever I see him, and
You're
it's like
so happy right now.
good, because I want you to be happy, because you're a great kid, and I don't want you ever to
Should I
forget
make you
that.
happy? Take notes.
Thanks for
I love
watching.
you.
Bye, guys.
Please like, subscribe, share. See you next week, guys.
And know that mental health matters.
Know that mental health matters.
Like, what?
Oh my gosh.
The Heat will destroy OKC.
The Heat got eliminated, son.
Hopefully this all works so we don't have a wasted episode.
OKC's about to get eliminated.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Psh, it's 3-2.
Do you want to fight about it?
No,
Exactly.
maybe.
All right.
Dang it. This is gonna be a wild episode, man.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how I can be serious.